a moment here. I need that system to spool up. All right, that system looks good. All indications are green. The meeting is yours, Mr. Chair. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome everyone to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Charter Township of Commerce Downtown Development Authority for Tuesday, February 16th. We'll call the meeting to order and call for approval of the minutes of both Tuesday, the 19th of January, and the Thursday special meeting, the 28th of January.
Jim,
Approval of the minutes of Tuesday, the 19th of January and Thursday, the 28th of January.
Right,
Second.
all right, discussion, prayers, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll do the roll call.
Okay,
Oh.
sorry, Deb.
That's okay. Lublin,
Aye.
Merkin,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Winkler. Ryan, Winkler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Hoy.
Aye.
Did Susan Spelker make it on? I don't see her.
Not yet.
Okay. Motion carried unanimously. Jim, we wanted to talk about the agenda too before we move on.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Could we edit the agenda to move item attorney's report up to item 4, and we'll move director's report after that? That'll allow Randy to jump off sooner. Does anyone have any objections to changing the agenda?
Not at all.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve that, please.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, I'll take Steve on that one. So I've got Gotts,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Hoy,
Aye.
Smith,
Yes.
Gray,
Yep.
Lublin,
Aye.
Merkin,
Aye.
Winkler.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item 2, public comments. Are there any public comments? And if so, please identify yourself.
Yes, so we do have, looks like a member of the public online at this time. Caller, if you would like to speak, please press *9 on your keypad, and that will raise your virtual hand. Again, that command is *9. And we'll give that caller just a moment, just in case they are watching the YouTube feed. The YouTube feed's about 20 seconds different from this feed, so. Okay. No hands raised at this time, Mr. Chair.
All right. So if there are no further public comments, we'll move to item 3, the inside commercial report.
Thanks, Jim. Let's see. I'm going to start off here with parcels A and H. That's the Barrington project. Nothing to report. You know, their construction is well underway. Like I said last time, they're going to be delivering a building about once a month, and they'll continue to finish their construction. Let's see, the Akins parcel. Haven't talked to Bruce a whole lot in the past month. The last time I did talk to him, he had mentioned that he is talking with Galbraith in regards to the multiple family. I don't know if they have a deal that's signed or ready to be signed. I'm trying to get in touch with them to find out. Last month we did fly. I know it says out of Chicago. This is actually out of Columbus. A fairly well-known development group. They loved the area. They were not aware of what was going on and the depth of the market. So that's all I really have to report right now on Akins. We are expecting to have him come in. Deb, when was that, in April?
Yes, April, and I believe within the first quarter, he would be before the DDA and Planning Commission. Does that sound right, Randy?
Yeah. I think that's correct. So let's see, parcel B1, that's the second phase of the Aikens project. Technically it's supposed to close in October of this year. Yeah, I highly doubt that happens. And when we do regroup with Bruce, we really should put some attention on that, because we've got a deadline that's going to come up. Although it's later this year, there's no sense in waiting, because I don't believe he's going to close this year. Granger Group, nothing to report. Parcel C, activity picked up kind of like the last half of January and going into February with inquiries. Likewise on some of the other parcels, but nothing concrete, to bring the group up to speed. Parcels D and E, that's the Pulte project. Dave can share with you, Pulte did receive an approval from the Planning Commission. Dave, what is it, 105 townhomes?
103.
103, and that would be on the old or the industrial building that sits on the south, on the east side of Martin Parkway, in the old golf range behind that.
Right.
See, parcel F, again, we had a couple more inquiries. This one, I get the least amount of inquiries. This is the one that's right in front of the town hall. But we did have a little bit of a uptick in activity. Hunter Pasture, there's nothing to report. Gilden Woods, nothing. J1, like parcel C, that's the hard corner of Haggerty in Oakley. We do have a gas station operator, that before the holidays was looking at it. He had called since I have done this report. I don't have anything concrete from him so far, and that's probably, the most recent activity. Let's see, parcel K, that's the deal that we had approved last month. It's signed for the self-storage facility that's going to go up. Dave, I don't know, are they going to be coming in March's Planning Commission?
They are. They're going to be on the Planning Commission's agenda for March 1st, because self-storage is a special land use in the Haggerty Overlay Zoning District, which is where that property lands. So there is a public hearing scheduled for March 1st, along with consideration of their site plan. So the Planning Commission will decide at that meeting whether they want to issue those two approvals, special land use and site plan approval.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Parcel L, Tom can bring you up to speed. This is if you recall, our last month's report, that this is the site that Goddard Schools was pursuing, and then got held back by corporate. Corporate has now approved. I don't know if Kelly McDonald's on the line or not. But they are moving forward with this project. And before Tom will get you up to speed here in just a second, will be the purchase agreement that was previously approved by the DDA board, but was never executed. So that will be in front of you today for execution. I'll just cover these last two, and then I can turn over to Tom. These are parcels M and N. They are the remaining outlot parcels to the 5 and Main project. We're not actively marketing those and until Bruce really starts the project. That's when I think we'll take a little bit more of a proactive approach. That's it. I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Randy, did I understand that Aikens is now working with a partner out of New York or Chicago that will assist him? Is that what you were saying?
So Bruce has talked to, over a period of time, he's talked to other, and it's very common in the industry, looking for a joint development partner, that can bring, not only capital, but contacts. This particular group, they're very well known. They're based out of Columbus. I know the reports at Chicago, but they are, we flew them the entire market. They were very impressed by what they saw. They had a lot of information. They were asking a lot of questions. I'm just trying to get a hold of Bruce to find out, if that's got any legs to it or not.
I like it. The more strength you have in a deal, the more apt it's going to begin quickly.
Yep.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Randy,
Any further questions, Randy?
Dickens was going to be talking to the DDA and the planning in April. I don't know if this is the proper spot to request it or not, but we'd like the township board would like to have an update from him as well. Can we request him to be on a township board meeting in April?
Yeah, you know what we may want to do, Larry and Deb. It's been a while. Maybe we have the joint meeting between all the boards. It's something to consider so that everybody is up to speed.
Sometimes that's done around the quarterly meeting of the township board. Larry, when would your next quarterly be?
In April, so that would probably be, just guessing, April 27th. Am I right, Missy? Yeah. So it'll be April 27th.
Okay. Is that something we could shoot for, Randy, you think?
I can, with advance notice, we can make anything happen. So
Okay.
It's been a while since we've done one of those. Maybe that's the right time to get the update.
Yeah, I think that would be beneficial.
Yep, let's make it happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions for Randy? Hearing none in accordance with our revised agenda, we'll now go to the council.
Tom Roush, you're up.
That was for me, Jim?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. If you refer to the agenda and the emails that I forwarded on Friday, we have three matters that we presented. I showed to you on Friday that will be discussed at today's meeting. In the order of the agenda, first is the variance application for the pathway waiver. It really is linked to the Parcel L sale. The Parcel L sales agreement will come up next, but the sales agreement, the purchaser, after looking at the situation, it requires that the pathway that was potentially proposed to go across Parcel L to Haggerty Road be eliminated. We knew that was a great concern to the buyer. And so both the township attorney and our office, as well as working with Deb and Randy and Matt, and with Dave Campbell especially, I should say, we've come up with an application to the township to, under the terms of the PUD agreement, administratively approve the deletion of the pathway over Parcel L. Now, this would be conditioned on the closing of the Parcel L agreement, or it would be in effect at that point. And what Deb has done is put together an extremely well articulated, detailed proposal, which I hope you've had a chance to look at. I don't think we'll go over it line by line today, but the gist of it is that the PUD agreement has an administrative procedure for either the township board or its designee, potentially the planner, to approve certain changes to the pathway system, including deletion or relocation of the pathway. After discussing it with Matt Schwanitz and Giffords and looking at the overall project and the Planning Commission's preference, as I understand it, that a connection of the pathway system to Haggerty Road would be more appropriate further south than where Parcel L is, where the Goddard School property will be. So the application considers utilizing the Parcel C, the parcel which is Unit 3 of the condominium, for the pathway connection to Haggerty Road. A difficulty with connecting the pathway system there is because it crosses a corner of the Walmart property. There's an easement in place granted by Walmart that permits the pathway to be constructed there, but there's no facility for doing that other than paying for it through developer funds, since Walmart isn't going to pay for it. So the way Deb has drafted the request, the pathway would be relocated from parcel L, or not, I should say, not completed in parcel L, and then relocated down into parcel C, utilizing the pathway easement granted by Walmart to parcel C or unit 3, and then from there completed over to Haggerty Road by the developer who eventually develops that parcel. I trust you've read the application that Deb drafted, and if you have any questions, I think Deb would be happy to answer them. But it really is I think a benefit that allows for administrative approval that would not require a formal amendment to the PUD agreement. And assuming that the township board is on board with the procedure, it will facilitate Kelly McDonald being able to acquire the property and develop her Goddard School project. With that said, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Tom, have all of the parties involved basically approved what you're offering?
No, the application, well, I say yes and no. We drafted the documents, Deb drafted them consistent with Township Council and the planning director's guidance as to what would be the most likely solution. So I believe people are on board, but it requires formal approval of the township board, and the township board hasn't seen it yet, to my knowledge.
I follow. I would make. I would suggest. Well, go ahead and ask anyone else questions before I make a motion.
Also, for clarification, a motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion that it's approved as attorney has suggested and to be presented to the township board.
Motion by Lublin, there's support.
Who pays for the extra walkway and everything on this and cross?
David, can we get a second on that, and then we'll do.
I second.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, David.
Who pays for all the extra work dealing with this, and especially dealing with Walmart?
That particular connection is currently unfunded, David. So we're looking to reroute those funds over to that piece to make the connection to parcel C. Otherwise, we don't know who would be funding that. So it would be coming out of the proceeds from parcel L to fund the connection at parcel C. And Matt can chime in a little better on that too. He's had some really good input on this project. And it's not, it's not cheap to make that connection at parcel C, as noted in the application. The difference in price there was $28,000 approximately that it would cost to do the pathway on parcel L versus $46,000 over at parcel C. And again, that's unfunded. So I think putting that $28,000 toward that connection is going to be very beneficial. I would have to consult further with the planning department to see how we might be able to fund the remainder of that connection at parcel C. I know we have a pathway fund, but I believe as this would be, funds are earmarked, correct, Dave?
In some cases they're earmarked, in some cases it's up to the township's discretion where to utilize the funds.
Matt, what's your engineering opinion?
Well, you don't have that great a difference between the two pathways in terms of their length and in that cost estimate. What you do have is a topographic difference. The existing alignment going through the Goddard piece is flat as a pancake. Virtually no significant physical constraints. Taking it through the easement that we negotiated, good gosh, is it over 10 years ago now, Tom, with Walmart? You do have a cross slope back there, so that pathway's got a cross grade that's fairly significant, not undoable, but awkward grade. So you got to basically create a ledge, have a cut slope on one side and a fill slope on the other. So that kind of micro grading issue, and it's a lot of tight quarters handwork. That's what increases the cost. It'll be a nice environment as you're going along the edge of the wetland.
Isn't that the main? Isn't that the main floodway though, going through there, or we don't cross the floodway?
We're above the floodplain, I believe, all through that reach. We're wrapping around the detention basins, Dave. Those twin basins. One's a settling basin, and then the larger one in back of Walmart that we acquired a portion of from Walmart. But the 100-year floodplain's down below that, more or less. So we're really not in the floodplain. There may be a little floodplain as you go into the hard corner parcel. But it actually, in terms of an open space walkway, it's a great alignment through there and getting you over to that Haggerty hard corner.
Any further questions?
One other comment on this, Dave had noted that Haggerty Road has sidewalks that are fragmentary, or I think he called them a hodgepodge before. So to be connecting through parcel L really doesn't make sense over there. You're coming out to a sidewalk that only exists at KinderCare. Other than that, you've got sidewalks across the street in the west, on the West Bloomfield side. And eventually we will have sidewalks at the corner at parcel C, but I agree with Dave. I don't know what we're connecting to if we go through parcel L. So I think that's a big factor too.
It might be helpful too. There's a little history on that original alignment way back when what ultimately became Merrill Park was just a concept on the plan. There was certainly a possibility that might not have been residential, that it might have been office, R&D, or the likes. So they conceptually there was both a roadway and a pedestrian path going out to Haggerty. At the same time, Commerce was trying to influence West Bloomfield and nudge West Bloomfield into upgrading Haggerty. Not just the road section, but the pedestrian corridor. West Bloomfield had no interest at all. Basically cold shouldered that whole situation. So though it was originally shown as a pedestrian corridor with no strong linkages, it's probably appropriate that goes away. I agree with Dave on that. It's a really tough pedestrian corridor.
I'm up in the air on this. I really am. I don't know which mouse to move sometimes. Got two computers for them. Because it looks like through the Merrill Park, we always had a connection going to that outlot. You know, and it's got to be nice back in there. I've never walked it in the back of Merrill Park where the retention ponds are. But then if we go south, I mean, it looks kind of ugly through there. I mean, that's swamp through there, isn't it?
No, you're going along across a side slope down to the wetland area. Not unlike the rest of the path as you proceed around the back of Walmart, the detention basins, and over to was it 5th and 3rd. It's very much the same edge. You've got upland area on one side, or detention basins. You've got the wetland on the other, so you've got that lush edge.
Oh, so wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Is there some drawing that shows what we're proposing for a pathway? Because I'm looking at the Oakland County aerial, and are you talking that we're going to be like 1,000 feet off? We're going to connect one of those paths and connect all the way along Walmart into.
You have an existing path at the detention basins in back of Walmart that essentially go right to Walmart's back loading area. There's an easement we negotiated from Walmart from that point through their piece and over to the hard corner. It's not a paved area. It's a natural area right now. There's, I believe, sanitary, storm. I don't think there's a water main back there, but there are multiple easements. So that blue line would be the alignment, Dave, you see on this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool, and that's not got wet feet. It's real close. It's the reason it costs a little bit more is it's tight quarters. You're going to be in there with small equipment. You're not going to be in there with a D9 taking big paths and swaths through there. It's going to be a lot of small equipment work. And then you take it back to that back corner. Walmart's parcel, we're actually traversing in that whole blue line run. And that's the easement we acquired. That's not DDA property through there. So, and just as a small point, it's not DDA property. It's not in the PUD, and it's not in the condo. But
So we have to negotiate with Walmart.
Yeah, so we're creating a strong link to your big traffic corner, at Haggerty and Pontiac Trail. Everything to the north, you've got very spotty sidewalk conditions, and immediately north of our lift station, Deb, if that's your cursor,
Yes.
see where that little drive is for the lift station? Real
Yes,
close.
up
Go
there.
immediately right.
Right.
Lift station's back. Generally, it's right. Come south. Okay, now go over to Haggerty. Go over to Haggerty. Take the cursor over. Okay, see the little driveway at the bottom of the image here?
Here.
The lift station is right there. And there's very little room for a walkway from there north without traversing wetlands. That would probably be a boardwalk connection.
But there's a pathway on the other side of the road, though.
Whereas this brings an internal connection from Martin down to this corner. Everywhere else, it's just nits and nats, little piece of sidewalk here, a lot of parking lot there, a lot of uncurbed, unlimited access along Haggerty, which you don't want pedestrians going through as you go north. You've got a lot of areas where there's no curb, and it's kind of Wild West, people pulling in and out of some of the paths.
So in the long term, though, whoever buys the corner piece from us is going to get stuck negotiating with this and have that path on their property.
Well, as anybody would on any project, whether that was residential, office, or commercial, you're going to have pedestrian ways going through your project. I don't think it's an additional cost.
Except for the person who's buying parcel L.
But if this is approved, we've got another $28,000 toward that connection. So hopefully we can fund that in working with the parcel L developer, the future developer there. I mean, they're going to have to do the sidewalks along the frontage of Haggerty and Pontiac Trail. They're going to have to do the pathway through their parcel. So hopefully we can get this connection made for them.
We'll spend the $28,000 just dealing with Walmart.
David, you have connections over there. You're going to take care of that part for us, right?
I wish, but I'll
reiterate, we have an easement for the pathway going through Walmart.
Yeah, the easement is owned by the DDA, so we do have that working for us. I don't think we'll be as challenged as you might think on that part.
I don't know. It just makes it that much more of a difficult to, I don't see how you're going to make a pathway going through that parcel on the corner. So, okay, well, those are my concerns. So,
okay, so I had a motion by Lublin, a second by Merck. Do we have any more discussion?
No further discussion. We can call the question. All in favor?
Lublin?
Aye.
Merkin?
Aye.
Spelker?
Aye.
Smith?
I'm going to abstain from this.
Okay. Gray?
Aye.
Gotts?
Aye.
Winkler?
Aye.
Matta?
Aye.
Hoy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Next is in the agenda is the parcel L purchase agreement. You've seen the form of the purchase agreement, and that was consistent with the LOI, letter of intent, for Kelly McDonald's purchase of the property. Obviously, we just discussed the main issue or concern that she has, which is the removal of the pathway across parcel L for safety reasons. And I forwarded you on Friday the latest version of the agreement. After we had discussed this a month ago, I believe that Kelly McDonald had discussions with the franchisor, with the Goddard School franchise people, the corporate as she calls it. And she was apparently able to convince them that this site is an acceptable site for a Goddard location. That came about just less than a week ago. We dusted off the agreement, which had some minor changes. And the form that I sent you, which was lined with the latest changes since the last time you saw it, is the final form of the agreement. Ms. McDonald has already sent us a DocuSign copy of the agreement. However, that agreement contains some of the lining. So assuming the board's approval today, we'll ask her to sign the clean copy of the current version and be underway. So with that said, the form of the agreement, the only changes were what you saw that were lined. And if you have any questions, and if not, a motion to approve the final form of the agreement is in order.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the L purchase agreement with the changes as Counselor has submitted.
Support.
Second.
Support Winkler. Discussion.
Why do we need to sell this piece of property?
Was that a question?
Yeah, that was a question.
I honestly didn't hear it, Dave. Are you asking me something?
Yeah, I'm asking
What's the
why
reason that
do
we are
need to
selling?
sell this property for $500,000?
Why do we want to sell the property? Well, that's not my job, but that might be Randy and Deb chiming in.
I believe this would be a great development on that piece. I think it's a great use for the community. And I know that Kelly's done her homework for the demographics in this area. I know that the Planning Commission approved the use for this particular site, despite the fact that it is so close to other childcare centers. So I would be in favor of it. Randy, did you want to add to that?
You're muted, Randy.
You're muted.
Randy,
Randy.
you're on mute.
There you go. Speaking part.
So I guess the why is really, a decision of the board. If the DDA is looking to, change kind of the characteristics, it happens over time through existing buildings, being refurbished and, new buildings being built. I know what's being proposed is going to look very nice. I think the second reason I think is compelling is, we continue to get, and it's not just on this site, and others as well, the need for childcare, because I guess there's a demand in the market. And I don't think that Kelly, would be taking this endeavor on if that wasn't a fact. But, I'm kind of hired to execute the wishes of the board. So, my job is to find, good uses and, things that are compatible, to the market. It's up to the board really from there. That's my 2 cents.
Randy, what is your idea if we keep this for the future? Can we get much better prices, much better results by keeping this piece of property?
Jose, I wish I could answer that. It's the crystal ball. I don't know what the market's going to be. Last year is a good example. We don't know what's going to happen next. So I don't know, what the values will be, in the future.
I might add, Jose, that we've always approached in our agreements, approached the use of this property, not just in its sales price, but in what it means in the long term for the community, the tax base, the type of the use. And as I understand it, the planning department and the people who have thought about this have the feeling that the Goddard School proposal will be an advantage to the Haggerty Road corridor and is the type of use that will complement Merrill Park next door. And the Planning Commission has approved the land use There seems to be no reason not to go forward with the sale, but it isn't just the sales price. It's what's going to be done. It's what's going to be invested in the entire project.
I'd like to say that, let's be honest, that part of Hagerty Road is kind of dumpy. And I would actually love to see a new building put up there. And I think the Goddard School, as Randy mentioned, is going to be a really nice building to have there. It might actually have those businesses there actually make their businesses look a little bit more professional, as well as the clientele that it brings in. It might help us bringing in people to sell the other parcels, such as parcel C that's right there on the corner. So I'm for one for this to move forward at the price that's proposed.
That's not going to help parcel C.
You never
Well,
know.
also, Dave, if you remember when Goddard School first approached us on this, they lowballed us like crazy. So at that time, when we discussed price and what we were willing to take, we sort of consensually agreed at that point in time that this price point would be in the range of what we would accept.
No, I agree with that.
And you, I don't remember you dissenting then, so I'm a little confused why the question.
A long time ago, the original idea was to sit down for us to connect to Hagerty.
Okay.
When Kathleen was here, way back when we were sitting down before Merrill Park ever, our idea was a connection. It almost looks like there's a pathway between the two ponds. And that was we talked about this many times of having a connection there.
Dave, that was actually part of the original plan. And then as things developed, and especially when Merrill Park came through, and they didn't want the connection, to avoid the drive-through traffic from Hagerty driving through the the residential development. That's kind of when everything changed. And what we're kind of dealing with is on the B docks, there was a placeholder for the a pathway to connect at some point. That was never completed or anything. So the road connection kind of went away when Merrill Park got developed, and the reasoning is to eliminate any of that cut through traffic through the neighborhoods to Martin Parkway to get onto M5. So you're right. We did have those conversations back then, but as time went on, that changed.
I just thought that it'd be a nice area to sit down and go back through the ponds, and then you want to connect into Hagerty, then walk across the street to Leo's Coney. I mean, life was good. So, but I'll bend to the board. You know what I mean? I agreed, to sit down and sell the piece. You know what I mean? But when I agreed to sell the piece, there was a pathway going through it that I always thought. So, but I will bend to the board, and I'm just not real happy about paths because I really like pathways. I think it's probably one of the things we can do. So.
All right. Dan Lublin, I feel that we should follow through with it. It makes sense. I think it works in the area very well, and holding it back serves no purpose, not at this point.
Thank you, Dan. Is there any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, Counselor, for clarification, where do we stand in terms of?
I would recommend that you adopt a resolution now approving the final form of the agreement and authorizing it to be executed. I think we should use the same procedure as we did last month for the parcel K. And I believe that Tim Hoy has graciously agreed to execute the document and be authorized, obviously, to do that. And if that's your wish, Tim, thank you. And we can arrange to have the resolution confirm that you're authorized signatory on the document, and we should be good to go.
I make a resolution that we follow through with the sale of parcel L, and as mentioned with council, to the changes that we talked about.
Okay, and I'm amending your motion, Dan. I do have that added, and I have a second for Winkler. So I will do the roll call. Lublin?
Yes.
Winkler?
Yes.
Thank you. Smith,
Yes.
Gray,
Aye.
Gotts,
Aye.
Merkin,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Hoy,
Aye.
Felker.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, and we'll confirm that the resolution, that Tim Hoy has been is authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the DDA. Next and last of the three issues I have is the director contract. I also forwarded you that, I believe, on Friday. Deb has prepared the draft of the contract on the same basic form that is utilized for Mark Stacy and Kathleen Jackson before. And I believe that that form evolved out of a form utilized by the township for some of its independent consultants. So the form is based on the same document. It is has all the terms and conditions that were discussed at the special meeting a couple of weeks ago. And the only thing that was added differently, I recommended to Deb that the term of the agreement, which is 90 days, continue thereafter on a month-to-month basis in the event that the process for a permanent director position is not completed by that time. It may be, but if for any reason it isn't, instead of having the agreement terminate and coming back and resurrect it, I recommended that we put in a 30-day continue on a month-to-month basis at the end of the initial term. Deb is under the statute. She's the acting director. She's also, people have designated it as interim director. I don't think there's any particular difference between one to the other. And so the agreement is now presented for the board's consideration.
Tom,
Make a motion to.
Tom, could
I'm
I?
making a motion to approve the director's contract as stipulated by council and as already sent to us, so that each of us has had time to have read it and approved it.
Second.
Thank you.
I understand Deb, who's party to this contract, would like to have a speaking part. So
Yes.
I think it's appropriate that we hear from her.
Thank you, Jim. I just wanted to add that Larry Gray and I spoke this morning, and I would be bringing this contract back to you for revision once we hire an assistant. If I'm to continue as permanent DDA director beyond this interim, I'll bring it back for review again at that time. I had listed in there that the rate would be $40 per hour. Currently, that works with the budget at 35 hours, so we'll continue that way. As soon as an assistant is hired, Larry suggested that I should take that, and this will come up in the job descriptions also, but he said that should be taken to $50 an hour. I consulted with Jim Gotts on that this morning also, and he was in agreement with that. So that will come back to you at a later date as soon as I'm able to hire an assistant and rework the budget for that.
Right, for clarification, council, this agreement is kind of a transitional agreement. And upon the approval of the township board of Deb's appointment to a permanent position, this becomes immaterial?
I think as Deb indicated, the agreement will be revised to reflect whatever the permanent director's terms would be. If it's Deb, obviously we know what terms she would find reasonably acceptable. And if the position is going to be posted, which I understand is your intention, then there could be other people that apply and have other wishes for an agreement. But at this point, this is the agreement we've used for the last probably 10 years. And it's set up for 3 months, plus, as I said, a month-to-month extension if the permanent if the township board if your board and the township board is not approved a permanent director at that time.
Thank you, council. Are there any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, Deb, we're going to call the question on a roll call.
Yes, thank you. Lublin,
Yes.
Merkin,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Gotts,
Aye.
Winkler,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Hoy,
Aye.
Belker,
Aye.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, council. Going back to our amended agenda, we'll go to item 4, actually, which has been switched to the director's report. Yep.
And I'm just trying to bring that up here. I put it out in writing this month. I thought that that might be easier for all of us and maybe more efficient too. Certainly Randy's covered all of the developers, and I will make a note again to work to meet with Bruce at a joint meeting, April 27th. The one thing on the developers, we've had requests for this before in the past, and I just wanted anyone's input. If you have any comments, Wincliffe would like to see light poles at their entrance. And I know that this is an HOA item. I believe the reason we don't have lighting at their entrance is because that was never supposed to be a curb cut. And then it was amended in the PUD. So lighting was never installed there. Does that sound correct, Matt? Is that why we wouldn't have lighting there at this time?
Well, we wouldn't have placed it in that specific spot because we wouldn't have known there was curb cut. You're dead on. The other part is they never proposed, the developer never proposed one when they came in at their entrance. So.
And I would say that I have not received their signature regarding the presidency for Commerce Town Place as of today. So I know that I need to get back with Tom again on that particular topic, and I'll be looking into it. I'll see about a consent action. I'll check into our reserves for the budget and see what Wincliffe wants to contribute to the project, what we can get as an estimate, and I'll get back with you on that item. I know it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be in excess of $20,000 easily, because we'd have to have the electrical underground brought over from PGA to their entrance. So I'll check into quotes on that. Other than that, I think the developers are all covered right now. Molly and I will have MTT judgment reports next month. Molly, did you have any come in lately? Oh, she's on mute and video off.
Not other than the ones that you and I talked about earlier.
Okay.
So I'll know more at the beginning of March when we get February's activity in.
Great, thank you. So our budget was approved for the HOA. Dues invoices were sent out. We've received 3 payments. So we're waiting on 3 others. And I'll sign the tax forms with Molly as soon as I have the authority to do so. We do have to sign a check for the lighting order Wednesday of this week. We have the lighting order coming in on Thursday, and we already need to place another lighting order. Some of the repairs that we need to make are going to immediately deplete certain quantities that of light poles and other things that we have coming in. So I am concerned with that. Tom, I'll talk with you after the meeting about our procedures for taking actions in regard to Commerce Town Place. Unfortunately, we've had some unrecoverable accidents that are detailed in the report, but I'll keep pursuing those as much as possible. And I think that's it for the report, unless anyone has questions, and then we'll move on to the job descriptions and postings.
Can I add one thing? When you're, if and I've always been a proponent of doing that. If you're doing work for, for the future lighting, that can we put an administration fee on that?
I know Mark was not in favor of doing the admin fee, and I'm not sure why he wasn't, David. So I'm happy to look at that.
Just a suggestion. I deal with a lot of giant real estate firms, and if you ask something, we'll be glad to. You know what I mean? As long as you pay for it. So just looking at a cost-cutting thing. Just a thought.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I'll look into it.
Yeah, Deb, this is Matt. Let's talk about that a little bit more, because they are a sub-association too. They are their own condo.
Right.
Don't know why they couldn't do a special assessment for their own improvement and benefit for those posts. and not draw the greater association in.
And I would want them to do it.
Might be a good reason on that, but that's at least a possibility.
And I would want to make sure that they do it consistently with what we have now. I want them to have bronze or green poles, and I think we're leaning toward bronze there because we want to start to get all bronze throughout the whole development. But I think that there should be some significant contribution from their HOA toward this, and maybe the Town Place, the larger association, can assist them to some extent. We certainly have the contractors lined up, we have the supplies, but I'd like to work with them on that and see it happen for them. It is very dark if you drive through here, in the morning before sunrise, and it's not necessarily safe for all the people that are coming in and out of there. So, I'm in favor of it.
Thank you, Deb. Little personal privilege exclusion here, if you want to take over handling the agenda.
Okay. All right, so we're on to job descriptions and postings. Did you all have a chance to review the job descriptions as I drafted them? And did you have any questions before those would be posted? I would need a motion to approve those and post them. Were there any questions or comments? I did have an item on the director's job description, item 5. I had the word supervises in there, supervising the DDA assistant. Upon reading the contract, I noticed that supervises is not actually the appropriate word there. So I did edit that to say provides guidance and direction to the DDA assistant.
Oh, eloquent.
Pardon me?
Eloquent.
Oh, thank you. And then secondly, per the discussion I had with Larry Gray this morning and with Jim Gotts, we are going to adjust the hours down from 28, as I had suggested on there, down to 23, and keep the pay as what it was previously at $50 hourly. And then for the assistant, we will do that at 12 hours weekly and 20 per hour. And then he or she can work their way up to an increase in pay within that budget, but this certainly keeps us within the administrative budget of $75,000. So if there's no comments or questions, I would be happy to take a motion on approving those and working with HR and the clerk's office to get the jobs posted for 30 days.
Hey, Deb, do you need a motion for individually, or can you both be together?
I think they could be together. Tom, any thoughts on that?
I hadn't thought about that, and they probably can, but if I'm wrong, then they should be separate. So let's do them separate.
Okay, let's do them separately.
I would like to make a motion to accept the job position as Debbie has written for the DDA director.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Gray?
Aye.
Lublin?
Yes.
Gotts has not returned, so we'll put him as abstain. Merkin?
Aye.
Winkler?
Aye.
Matta?
Aye.
Hoy?
Aye.
Spelker?
Aye.
Smith?
Yes.
Okay, and then a motion for the assistant.
I'll make a motion for the DDA assistant to be posted as presented by Deb.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Any discussion? Gray?
Aye.
Lublin?
Yes.
Merkin?
Aye.
Winkler?
Aye.
Matta?
Aye.
Hoy?
Aye.
Spelker?
Aye.
Smith?
Yes.
And I'll list Gotts as abstain again. Okay, motion carried. And on to the next item would be the engineer's report. Matt, did you have anything to share with us?
No, I think that's about it. I've been obviously helping Deb and Tom on several of the transactions and information on that stuff. Beyond that, we've hit just about.
Oh, you're breaking up just a little on us, Matt.
Yeah, I'm in Port Austin, so that's as good as it's going to get.
It's better when you lean forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave Campbell, Planning Director's Report.
Sure. We've mentioned already that the Pulte Townhomes across the street from Township Hall got condominium site plan approval from both the Planning Commission and from the Township Board. We mentioned that the climate-controlled self-storage at the southeast corner of Pontiac Trail and M5 is going to go in front of the Planning Commission on Monday, March 1st, and that would include the DDA's Parcel K as part of that site plan. Just a quick follow-up on the Parcel L conversation. So procedurally, that's going to go in front of the Planning Commission at that March 1st meeting for a recommendation. And then ultimately, it'll be up to the Township Board on March 9th, whether they want to issue a variance for the pathway. That's the language that's included in the PUD agreement, is that there would need to be a variance from the Township Board if we were to deviate from the pathway plan, which is what's being proposed. So the Township Board would make a determination on that potentially at the March 9th meeting. The Fetter property, which is the large vacant parcel on the west side of Hagerty Road, just north of 14 Mile, which is in the DDA district. That's a development that the developers are proposing a PUD, planned unit development, with retail along the Hagerty Road frontage and residential apartments behind it. They want to get back in front of the Planning Commission also at the March 1st meeting for a preliminary review. They made some revisions since the last time they went in front of the Planning Commission, so they want to get the Planning Commission's feedback on those revisions. Also along that stretch of Hagerty Road out in front of Meyer, where there's currently just a whole lot of surplus parking for Meyer that rarely, if ever, gets used. Jiffy Lube wants to buy a portion of that property from Meyer and create a new piece of property and drop a Jiffy Lube right there. So that is going to be in front of the Planning Commission at the March meeting. And I can't remember if we mentioned it to the DDA, but the Barrington wall sign at what would be the northwest corner of Martin Parkway and M5. It is a very nice sign, and it looked very nice for about a week until our sign bandit stole the Barrington letters off of the sign, which would have been quite an undertaking because those were bolted up there and actually bolted right through the wall. So someone had to spend quite a bit of time out there to get those off. But if you're wondering why those letters disappeared and have since been replaced with just a temporary banner sign, that's what happened. Those letters got stolen, we assume, by the same person who's stealing all the real estate signs and coming soon signs in this area. Those are things I was going to update the DDA on. If anybody's got any questions for me.
Okay, I see Jim is back. Jim, you're on mute.
How did I get unmuted here?
I don't know. There you go.
Oh, okay. Andrew Reyes, has there been any report of that sort of activity?
Report of the sign?
Yeah, the signs being missing, and have we taken any kind of remedial action?
Well, we're doing extra patrol, but I mean, and we've taken a few reports. Sometimes we get reports from the township that signs have been damaged or stolen and the person that owns them doesn't call. So I think we have some of them. I don't know that we have all of them. Extra patrol is what we're doing currently. I would like to get a camera system to set up and be able to, have some video or some camera shots taken of the people that are doing it. So we're in discussion about doing that. But we don't have any good news, like we've arrested them.
Yeah. Well, that would appear to be a propitious action, so perhaps we could pursue that further. Are there any other questions of David?
Hey, Dave, are they planning on putting those Barrington sign back up, maybe in a different way, tamper-proof screws or something like that? Do you know, or?
I know they want to replace those letters. They have to refabricate them, and that takes a little bit of time. I have not heard from them whether they're going to adjust the way they install them to make it more tamper-proof. I haven't heard that from them.
All right. Thank you.
I think the way they've described it to me, everybody's amazed that whoever did it was able to do it in the first place. That, again, they were not up there in an easy way to get them back off.
Yeah. Well, if they have appropriate effective insurance coverage, it could be an insurable loss. But I think from the standpoint of public preservation, we probably need to take some sort of remedial action. Any further questions of planning director? Okay, hearing none, move to item 8. Committee reports. Finance Committee. Deb, we need a new appointment.
Yes, we would love to have a new appointment to the Finance Committee to assist with Molly and I in reviewing budgets and staying on task. Jim Gotts and I spoke this morning to see who might be a potential candidate, and I think it would be up to Tim Hoy, Steve Matta, and Susan Spelker. So are any of you willing to throw your hat in the ring and assist with the Finance Committee? And
I am serious mathematically challenged. You don't want
Well,
me.
that might
I
be
don't
the
even.
prima facie
I don't
reason.
even own a checkbook. You know, my wife has one. My sister has one. And I haven't balanced a checkbook in 30 years. So
Well, it's
I'm
amazing
your
that you
worst
even
candidate.
it's amazing that you even have a speaking part.
I'll volunteer if I can.
really, Larry? Well, thank you. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. I think that would be a great help to have you working from the side of the township board and then also the DDA on finance. Great.
Can I make a comment for the Finance Committee, just as a heads up for next? Maybe I'm behind the ball on this. We have DDA debt payments that are due March 31st. So, and I forgot to get this on the DDA board. I've had like 19 plates in the air for the last month and a half. We will need to be requesting an advance from the township. We have it budgeted that they will be giving us $4,000 this year, or $4 million. Lost a couple of zeros. $4 million this year in advances. And I think we're going to need a $1.5 million advance in the month of March to cover the debt. We've got $1.5 million in the bank right now, and the debt payment for March 31st is $2,578,343.10. So to make up that shortfall, we'll need $1.5 million from the township. So Tom Roush, you might need to help me do this, since I didn't have my brain on straight to get it onto the agenda. But can we do a motion to approve requesting that so that the township board can approve it in their March meeting and we can get the ball rolling?
Council? Tom?
Tom, you're on mute.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, Jim?
As a matter of procedure, since Molly's injected this rather devastating financial news, what is our position legally with regard to entertaining a motion to approve her report and take affirmative action?
When Molly has needed the board's actual approval on a motion, we've done a resolution. I think generally you've merely accepted the report. Molly, do you feel that you need to have a resolution of the board at this meeting, or are you looking to do it in the next meeting for the advance?
I can take it to the township board at their March meeting and have them approve it, and then you can approve accepting the loan in your next meeting, and I'll still have time to get the money before the debt payments need to be made.
But there'd be no reason, there'd be no reason not to ask the board to request $1.5 million. Is it $1.5 million?
Yes.
To request $1.5 million advance and put it before the township board that the DDA board has already approved it. So there'd be no reason not to do it at this meeting now, is there?
No, it would
seem to be more procedurally correct.
Well, the procedure is always best to have us ask for the money before the township board approves the advance. So it's not technically necessary, but it seems to make more sense to have us be the requesting party.
Agreed.
All right, I'll make a motion to request the money from the township board, roughly $1.5 million plus or minus.
And I'll second that.
Support Spelker. Discussion. All in favor?
Lublin,
Aye. Aye.
Spelker,
Aye.
Merkin,
Aye.
Winkler,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Coy,
Aye.
Smith,
Yes.
Gray,
Aye.
Gotts.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously.
Sorry about that, everyone.
That's
That's
okay,
fine.
Molly, I just wanted to ask you, I did see that in our paperwork. Did the township board also see that last year when they were approving the 2021 budget? So it's not a surprise that we're coming
No,
to
it's not a
this time.
surprise.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I thought it was actually approved when I looked at that recently. So I'm glad you brought that up today. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. For clarification, is there any further action required by the DDA board to confirm the appointment of Larry Gray to the Finance Committee?
I think I would just ask, was Steve or Susan interested in assisting with that before we decide on Larry? If anyone else is throwing their hat in the ring.
Well, I'd be certainly happy to help. I have no objection to help, and I'm not a math whiz by any means, but I'm familiar with some budgets, and I do look at them from time to time. I'm happy to help out, but it sounded like we have an eager candidate, so that's a good thing.
Steve, if you want it, go ahead. You can take it.
It's not a question of wanting,
I'm just helping. If you'd like to do it, I will withdraw my name. I have no
All
problem.
right. Susan, your thoughts?
I wouldn't mind doing it either. So whoever wants to, I mean,
Your committee does not have to be a committee of one person.
well, right. And that's what I'm thinking is that it might be better to have more than one person in this. And no offense to Larry, but historically, it's always been a committee member, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I will withdraw my name, and then Susan and Stephen, they'll give you guys an opportunity.
Yeah, I think
I also I sit on the marketing committee too. So Susan, if you'd like to take it, that's fine with me. I'm happy to help you too. That's fine too.
Perfect.
Well, that would be fine. And you're amenable, Susan?
I am.
Great. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
So we just need a motion for that, correct, Tom?
It won't, as I said before, it won't hurt. The subcommittees of the board are informal committees. They do not take action, but they bring recommendations and analysis of their respective issues to the board for the board to take action. I frankly don't remember if we used a resolution of the board to appoint the committees. We probably did. So yes, let's do it. Have a resolution appointing. We're going to appoint Susan as the subcommittee chairperson. Deb, do we know, are there other members of the finance committee now?
No, I don't believe so. Molly, are you aware of anyone else? I think it was just you and Mark working on this, correct? Sorry, you're on mute.
It was just me and Mark before.
Okay. Yeah, so, and I think we had a motion at the annual meeting with regard to subcommittees also.
I do think you're right. All the committees were just accepted by one general resolution because the membership didn't change very much.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yes. If there's any other comments, or if not, we could take a motion for Susan Spelker to be appointed to the Finance Committee.
I'll move so.
Okay.
Second.
Second by, I'm sorry, who was that?
Boy.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, Gotts,
Aye.
Hoy,
Aye.
Winkler,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Spelker,
Aye.
Smith,
Yes.
Gray,
Aye.
Lublin,
Yes.
Merkin.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much. Okay, Jim, our next item
is a Public Relations Committee. Is there a report, Jose?
Nothing to report this month, Jim.
Okay. Then we'll move to Marketing Committee. David?
Good afternoon, everybody. Since we haven't had a marketing meeting in so long, I guess I really don't have anything to add. I mean, Randy pretty much brings us up to speed. So I am looking forward. Is there ever a time when we're ever going to get together again?
I would certainly hope so.
So, but I have nothing to add. Thank you.
And any questions of marketing? Hearing none, we'll move to item 9. Call for a motion to approve the warrants and file the carryovers and revenue expenditure report.
Approval of the warrants, carryovers, add-ons, revenue, and expenditure report.
Motion Lublin, support.
Second.
Support Merkin. Questions, clarification, queries? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Well,
Aye.
you're gonna do a
Roll
Yeah.
call vote?
roll
Yep.
call. Yes.
Okay. Lublin,
Yes.
Merkin,
Aye.
Matta,
Aye.
Winkler,
Aye.
Gotts,
Aye.
Aye.
Gray, Smith,
Yes.
Belker,
Aye.
Hoy.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you much. Item 10, other matters. Are there any other matters? Are there any other matters? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion
to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
I have Merkin,
Aye.
Lublin,
Yes.
Matta,
Aye.
Winkler,
Aye.
Gotts,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Spelker,
Aye.
Smith,
Yes.
Hoy.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for your kind attention and participation.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.